the left guard position really has become the Vietnam of the Minnesota Vikings, where it's never ending. It's a horrible conflict, and it's just surrounded by lies and empty promises. But the Vikings, will they play Ezra Cleveland at left guard? Now, Rick Spielman, after drafting Ezra Cleveland, was very adamant about Riley Reef. Oh, we'll let him play it out in 2020 at left tackle. Okay, and then Gary Kubiak came out and said on a Vikings podcast that Cleveland may be kicking into left guard. So, will it be good? Also, do you believe any of their lies? I say get the 5 best offensive linemen on the field. Honestly, if Ezra Cleveland wants to play center, Garrett Bradbury's at right guard, who cares? No, don't start any controversy. No, Garrett Bradbury is the pivot man for the Vikings. But I also say if Cleveland is the left tackle of the future, start the growing pains now, kick him out there, sink or swim. Yeah, it is a little obtuse thinking, is a little bit old school, but that's how I think. Yeah, so my preferred setup would be Ezra Cleveland, left tackle. Just get it out of the way right away. They said that Brian O'Neill wasn't ready as a rookie either, and a lot of similar issues with him. Super athletic. You worry about that anchor, but he's developing into one of the better right tackles in the game. So I say Cleveland left tackle, put Reef inside, or Schofield, or Josh Klein, or whoever, or Oli Udo, or Kyle Hinton, who apparently is going to play center now because why the hell not? Whatever. Either way, Ezra Cleveland at left tackle. But if they are going to go this route, okay. But if playing him at left guard is the only way to get him on the field, whatever. We're all in on it because I think he can do it, perform well there, especially in a zone-heavy scheme. He's got the short area quickness. He's got the footwork. He can do everything that you need in the run game to be able to operate at a high level, except he hasn't played guard ever. But it's okay. But he's phenomenal at reaching, getting across the face of defenders on the line. Has a great feel for getting second level when he's uncovered. He can do all those things, right? So I have no problem with him athletically being able to do the job at left guard. Plus, Pat Elflein. That's what it always comes down to. That's the punchline. It's like, oh, this and this and this and this, and Pat Elflein. But I do worry about the anchor with Cleveland because what has effed up Pat Elflein the most, both at center and guard? It's him being pushed around, not being able to anchor man to man versus just mammoth-sized defensive tackles on the inside, which you get every single week in this league, right? It's also what's Garrett Bradbury initially struggled with the first couple weeks of the season, where he got Grady Jarrett and Kenny Clark, and no big deal, right? He eventually got it together. So I do worry about a very steeper learning curve inside as opposed to outside for Ezra Cleveland. And even though Cleveland isn't as upright as, say, 6th-round pick Blake Brandell, but his center of gravity is fine. It's pretty decent for a tackle, but it's not great for an interior offensive lineman. So I do worry about him being able to get low enough to be able to get leverage because low man wins in the NFL, especially on the inside. Now, he does need to add lower body strength to be able to weather the storm. This is the same thing that we said about Elflein, same thing we said about Bradbury. It's the same thing we said about Brian O'Neill. Because, I mean, when you're picking offensive linemen to fit a specific scheme, and that's one of the trade-offs. You want lighter, more athletic offensive linemen, well, you have to add a little bit of weight to be able to anchor in this league. But if he's able to do that, it's probably a multi-year project. I think he's going to be phenomenal. But also, I mean, not every running play is a zone play. I mean, the Vikings clocked in at about 68% of the running plays being zoned, primarily outside zone last year, which is great. But sometimes you just have to go old school slobber knocker, especially when you're down on the goal line. Just fire off and go kick your man's ass, the guy across from you. Like old school, like the super overweight offensive line coach from Pee Wee football just getting his like, I'm going to kick your guy's ass. You know what I mean? And I love Ezra Cleveland, but him basically running Oklahoma drill against Akeem Hicks or Kenny Clark, you're going to have a bad time. As of right now, you're going to have a bad time. Plus pass blocking, nailed it. I mean, Cleveland's phenomenal against speed on the outside. Needs to work on bull rush. We knew that about him coming in at tackle. But inside, basically every rush is a bull rush. So you're going to get manned up. You're going to get bodied inside. So again, I absolutely love Ezra Cleveland. I was ecstatic over the moon when he was there at 58. I would prefer him at left guard over Elflein over anyone else. I would prefer him at left tackle, but if left guard is the only way that he gets on the field, put his ass in there. But I do think there are some valid concerns. There are some drawbacks there. And also, I feel like you're sort of wasting him. You're sort of giving him not even like a redshirt year. It's just like whatever year, just sort of burning that one because, Reef, would have a much better anchor inside. He is much more stout. He is a much more NFL-ready body because he's been in the NFL since 2012. Cleveland, he's a better zone fit at tackle outside than Reef, as well as he's a more athletic pass blocker, and he's your future left tackle anyway. So why not Reef inside, Cleveland outside? But I understand. I get it. Ties go to the veterans. You want to do everything as safe as possible, blah, blah, bling, bling, blah, that whole thing. So if it has to be Reef outside, Cleveland inside, fine. Like, I get it, but I still protest. That is all. All right, so your thoughts. Ezra Cleveland, potential playing left guard. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo. Please give us a follow on social media as well. Until next time, Skol, production value.